That's right, we're back with our daily creative challenges. Hello, my name is Andrew Hockrattle, and I will be your host, guide, and let's see, travel mule today. Let's do camel. I'll be a camel today for you. I'm so excited. We are going over to Egypt to visit. We're going to be in the Sahara, which basically just means desert. So if it's the Sahara Desert, it's just desert. If you didn't know that. Let me know where you're watching from in the world. I know that we have some friends here from Egypt, so let me know if you are actually in Egypt. We are going to go see the pyramids today. The Sphinx will also make an appearance because it's right in front of the pyramids. I had the joy of going 2 summers ago to visit, so we got some firsthand experience to take you there. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, you would never believe how big they are. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing here. We are doing the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. It happens every single day for the rest of this week. This time we've been doing a tour, a world tour that has been our theme. We're finishing up our second week of the world tour. So if you missed it, that's all right. And Ahmed, hello, welcome from Egypt. Yes, we got one. So if you missed any of the challenges last week on our world tour and you're just kind of picking up, we went to Paris, we went to Sydney, Melbourne, USA, and today heading over to Egypt. We will continue on our journey for the next 5 days for the rest of the week, and we will end up in Canada checking out the Northern Lights. So stick around for every single day. You can get that at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. If you missed one of the challenges, this is the place to watch. And if you need to get your source file, go ahead and click Get Started here, and it will pop it in there for you. Hello, Chicago, Chile. A bunch of people are in. Been a while since you've done an AI challenge. Welcome, Stephen. Welcome back. And yes, Egypt is the best. I loved it. We're going to have some artifacts today, actually, from my trip that I'll show you. So one more thing that I want to tell you about how you can get involved, and that is Adobe Max coming up October 20th to the 22nd. It is going to be an awesome event. It is free for everyone online. Make sure that you sign up, you register, you go to your speaker catalog, and you look for yours truly. Look for my name, which is right up here. You can type that in and find me in my sessions. We will be doing some portfolio sessions as well as a first look on a very exciting new product that is super secret. So tune in for that. It's going to be a fun time. Raise your hand in chat. Give me a raised hand if you're already registered for Adobe Max, and give me 2 raised hands if you have registered for some time with me at Adobe Max. That's 1 week. We get 6, remember? I've been winking too much on this stream. All right, so another way that you can get involved with these daily creative challenges is not just to tune in here every day, it is to continue on that journey and jump over into our Discord, bit.ly/Discord. That's the place to be where everyone is hanging out. Usually I say that's where the cool kids are. That's where I'll be, actually. Not that all the cool kids are there, not that I'm the cool kids, but I'll be there. I'll be hanging out, so come join us and post your projects there at the end of our challenges. Each day you can post and we go in and do some reviews. We had a nice little hangout the other night, so you can post them here. I'll give you some feedback. If you want to, you can also post here. You can ask questions over here. You can get connected, make some new friends. It's a great place for community in general. So let's go ahead and hop into our lesson today. Today we will be working in Egypt, and of course, if you're just joining us, we are on a world tour. We have a lot of fun on this stream, get a little bit goofy, but we also learn a lot. So bear with me as we get a little bit goofy as we transition into our lesson on the Adobe Illustrator World Tour. Huh, interesting. Well, that I tied this really terrible. That was actually a piece of papyrus. Since we are here and we are hanging out in Egypt, I thought that it would be nice to bring my piece of papyrus that I actually got in Egypt. Papyrus is how they used to, oh, that's so loud probably, is how they used to make paper. So it's basically reeds from plants that are put together to make paper, and this is what we would write on. This is a lot of the reason we still have visual communication, and a lot of the reason we still have things like typography, like icons, and even logos today come from ancient Egypt. So we've talked a lot about symbols, a lot about understanding language and visual communication. It all starts with Egypt. They had hieroglyphics, which would communicate complicated ideas through visual means. So we can still understand their stories and we can still read their language, even though it's a dead language, even though it's been however many years, because of the power of visual communications. And yes, Anastasia, I'm trying to match my outfits to the intro. 100% I am. So let's go ahead and hop into our lesson today. And today we're going to be working with graphic styles and patterns. And this is for the Sahara. It's very, very hot there. And it's very sunny. So we want to make sure that we protect ourselves. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into our challenge today in Illustrator. If you have not, go ahead and download the source file that looks like this. And challenge number 5, create Egyptian pyramids using patterns and graphic styles. So we're going to use both of those today. And yes, papyrus the paper, not the font. And if you didn't know this, the pyramids are actually built in the same configuration as Orion's belt. There's some kind of celestial energy that they wanted to capture, and so they were built in the same configuration. Interesting. So let's go ahead and work first in creating a pattern. Here in Illustrator, we're going to work off the artboard a little bit just on the side. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a square. When working with a pattern, we want to make something that repeats, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I want to make a pyramid with maybe some bricks. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay out our bricks. We're going to have the background selected here and use our swatches panel up here to do, sure, a brown. And then we're going to build kind of the large bricks before. This is why it's one of the wonders of the world. These bricks are gigantic. I thought, sure, this is going to be cool, but when I stood next to them, they were about as tall as me, if not taller for each one. And so it's a sight to behold. So what I'm doing now is we are just using the rectangle tool to make a rectangle, and then clicking and dragging holding Alt and Shift to drag right across. And with one of those, we can just hit Command D again. Remember our little hack that we used? We use Command D to make just another copy. And we're going to drag one more over just so we have it off the side. Now from here, what we're doing is we're trying to make a pattern in this space, and that pattern is just going to repeat and repeat and repeat. We want to make sure that everything lines up so that it repeats well. So what we're going to do is grab this line, we're going to drag it down holding Shift and make sure that our smart guides right there are lining it up perfectly. And from there, I'm going to drag it over so that it is halfway between each one. So there we go. And here I am going to select all of them, and again, click and drag holding Alt and Shift. And one more time, Command D. There we go, to make just one more. And it looks like we need one more row, so I'll just click and drag this down. Now it's important when you're making a pattern to make sure that it repeats and that it repeats well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, make sure that this perfectly lines up with this bottom. So we have all of our bricks, right, that we've created. I'm going to go ahead and bring this down and make sure it lines up perfectly right there. Now, what I'm going to do is with all of these selected, we're going to use a tool that we've used in the past. Go to Object, Transform, and Transform Each. Doing Transform Each is going to allow us to make these into little brick patterns, right? And so we're going to do 95 and horizontal. There we go. Let's do 98. That way we can take each of those and we're shrinking them down just a little bit to leave this kind of grout or this kind of seam between them all. So we're going to hit OK. And from here, I'm going to need to make these a compound path. We need it to be one shape to create the pattern to make it repeat. So we're going to go right click and go to Make Compound Path. Now this is all one shape. It is all just one piece. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the Pathfinder tool to use this square that we've created in the background. I'm going to copy and paste in place and select our bricks. And from there, because it is a compound path, we can leverage the power of the Pathfinder to go ahead and knock it out. Now, again, remember the Pathfinder is like a hole punch. We're taking that top object and punching it through, but this time we're selecting the third option, which will only keep the overlap. So by only keeping the overlap, you can see we have our bricks here. We'll make them a little bit lighter, and there we go. We have created our bricks. So what we're going to do next with this is, now that we have our pattern, we are going to create a pyramid. And we're actually going to do a night and day. We're going to do a night and day look today. And I'm just going to grab a rectangle and drag it over to the center here. Something really cool they do with the pyramids is at night they have a show, and it's like a light show. So we're going to go ahead and just grab a dark night color, and I'm going to multiply that over. And now we have a night and a day. So let's go ahead and drop in our pyramid using the polygon tool. Again, polygon is how many sides does it need? Just 3. So we're going to click and hit 3 on the polygon tool. And look at that. We got a nice little pyramid that we can set right here. Perfect. Now, what we need to do is we need to take this brick pattern and put it into this pyramid. You think it's complicated, but it's actually way easier than you'd think. We can simply open the swatches panel right up here. We can take this and click to drag to select it all and just drag it right over into the swatches panel. You can see right here that now our swatch is sitting there next to as if it was a color. And we can select this pyramid and click right here, and it will fill it with that pattern. Now we've got those awesome little bricks that are going across there. And it looks like it's a little bit too big, and it actually looks like we finished on the same one, so it's repeating itself. Now that's an issue, but guess what? We can fix it very easily. All we're going to do is click on this swatch here. We're going to hold Alt and drag it right out, and it actually drags, as you can see, right out there. So we're going to click in here, and I'm just going to delete this bottom row because we don't need it. So it's repeating a little bit weird, so we'll delete the bottom row. And from there, we can select just this brick part. And I'm just going to drag this down a bit right there. So it looks like we've got everything we need looking good. And from there, we can actually replace. So check this out. We want it to be a little bit smaller of a pattern, so we can shrink this down. And we're going to click and drag over the swatch that already existed. We're going to hold Alt, and it will see how it turns to a little plus right there. If we put it on the swatch, and it's going to replace, there we go, the swatch that we had here, and now we have a nice kind of brick to go over here. Now, that's great and all, but we want to add some effects to this. Now, to add effects, we can actually layer things on top of each other. I don't know if a lot of people use this, is we can leverage the appearance panel right here to where it has the stroke and the fill. So right now the fill is this kind of pattern, this brick pattern that we've made. We can actually add another fill. So check this out. We're going to go in here, we're going to click on fill, and I'm just going to click on plus. And what that's going to do is it will make another fill for me. From here, I can select what I want the fill to be. And let's do this. I want the fill to maybe be kind of this blue, but I want this layer, the opacity, to multiply. So a lot of times you would use multiple layers to do this. You can do it all within one shape using the appearance panel. So coming over here, we'll hit multiply, and we want to change that a little bit on that gradient. So I'm going to go to the gradient panel up here, and let's go ahead and make this a nice kind of sun glowing, beautiful color. There we go. And we'll flip the degree of it all the way around, and because it's multiplied again, it's just creating kind of that nice shadow for us. So that looks good. But the problem is I want to have a little bit of texture there. So I'm going to go back to the appearance panel, and with this fill selected, I'm going to go to Effect, and I'm going to go to Texture and add some grain. So that looks about the grain that I want, and I'm going to hit OK. There we go. And now if I zoom in, you can see it's got this nice little grain to it, and that is applied to this fill that's on top, which is a gradient. So this looks great, but let's say that we want to do it again. What we can do is we can select this and come over here to graphic styles. And the graphic styles are sitting right in this panel. And what we're going to do is with this shape selected, we are going to hit the plus button. There we go. So hit the plus button, and now we have a graphic style that's sitting over here. And what that's done is it saved all of the elements that we have on this shape and made it so that we can make another shape with the same use. So check this out. I'm going to grab another polygon, make another pyramid right here because there are 3 of them. So we're going to set the other one right here. Let's just offset it a little bit as if it's down here. And with this shape selected, we can simply come to our graphic style and click on this graphic style, and it's going to apply all of those same things for us. Wow, I lined that up way too well. It's going to apply all the same things for us. The gradient, the texture, the pattern, it all saves into this graphic style. Kind of cool, right? So let's go ahead and move on and do another one on the other side. Now what I want to do is I'm actually going to make a pyramid that is, let's do like a sci-fi kind of one for the light show that they do at night. So this looks too bright, and it's filled with that kind of pattern that we have. So what I can do is, again, I can click and drag, holding Alt to drag this pattern out. And we want to augment this on this one. Let's do it like green. Let's do it like an alien kind of glowing neon green. So I'm going to come in here, select the bricks, and very easily, again, we can just change the colors. Come in here to the black or the brown. There we go. And we'll change those up. This is going to look like a turtle pyramid. And with these, again, we can grab this, select it, and simply drag it up into our panel. And you'll see that it has that little blue line, which means that it's adding it in as a swatch. So I'm going to drop that in. And selecting this object, we can again click, and it's going to change out the colors for us. If we want to, we can simply shrink this down and click holding Alt or Option, hover over that swatch, and again, oops, we can replace that swatch right there, and it will replace right here the size of those bricks. Super interesting, right? Raise your hand if you've ever worked with patterns in Illustrator. It's a super powerful tool. Let me know in chat. So from here, we are going to, again, keep adding things onto here using the appearance panel, and then we're going to save it as a graphic style. So what we want to do is I want to stroke on this so it looks like it is kind of glowing. So I'm going to put a stroke right here. And this stroke is going to be yellow. So we're going to do a pretty thick yellow stroke. And usually you can do this in other places, but doing it right here in the panel is super helpful and super quick for your workflow. So we are pushing that through. We have a nice little stroke here, but I want it to look neon. And so I can zoom in here. There we go. I can zoom in here. And yes, a lot of people nice using patterns. And we can go to Effect, and we're going to go to Stylize, and I'm going to go to Inner Glow to make this a little more neon. So there we go. Yeah, we've got that nice green that's on the Inner Glow. And keep in mind, because I'm doing this in the Appearance panel, it is only affecting the stroke. So the effect is being applied to the stroke, not the entire shape. So that can be very, very helpful when you're working with stuff like this, especially when you want neon effects. So only the stroke has that neon on it, and I actually want it to glow. So let's, with you in previous challenges, that's right, we have covered this in previous challenges in different ways. So with the stroke that we have right here, the stroke, we want to have another outer glow. So we can click on Effects, we can go to Stylize, and I'm going to do Outer Glow. There we go. Yeah, cool. Let's put that at 100 and see what happens. Yeah. So we're going to hit OK. And now we have this glowing, beautiful pyramid. And let's do one more thing because I want it to have a little more oomph on the inside. We're going to come to the fill, and we're going to apply another effect. And remember, as you're applying these effects, everything that you have selected in the appearance panel is what is going to save and apply to that shape. So we'll go over here and we'll go to, let's do pixelate, and let's do a color halftone. Why not? Let's do 4. And we'll hit OK. There we go. And our pattern now has shifted to be this cool color halftone, which is looking good. We have all of our glows going, and it's looking fantastic. And so the great part is this, right? We have all of this stuff that's applied to this new shape. I can simply select it, come over here to our graphic styles. We can hit plus, and it will make a new graphic style for us right here that we can see. So we can grab another pyramid. And we can even grab this one, right? That is already sitting there. This already has graphic styles applied to it, but we want it to be a different graphic style. So I can simply select this and boom, click on the new graphic style. And there we go. We have another pyramid that is glowing with some gorgeous neon. So once you're done, I'm just going to line these up real quick. There we go. So once you are done with your challenge and maybe you've made a couple different versions of this, you can play around with your graphic styles. If I wanted to, I can create a circle, click on this graphic style, and now I have a floating circle. I can apply it so that it has the bricks that I need. It's super helpful if you're creating walls, if you're creating anything that repeats or anything that needs a similar style, you can use graphic styles and patterns to just repeat that forever and make as many shapes as you want. So what I want you to do is create your pyramids. You can make them as crazy as you want. There is a light show that happens at night. It's gorgeous. And so you can play around and make it as crazy as you want. There's no rules here on this stream. And from there, go ahead and post right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. Post it in there and show me how you can make some patterns. Maybe you can play with the sun. Maybe you can play with some shading. And then maybe at night, you can play with some crazy bright lights. So super fun challenge, and I will be looking right here. Tonight, we'll be doing a stream, hanging out, having a good time, and giving you some feedback. You can follow along right here, hawk.co on Behance, and that will be where I go live. You can follow on whatever social medias if you want. And that will be the place to go. So if you're just joining us, again, I'm going to recap what we're doing just to catch you up. If you miss any of the lessons or you're just joining us a little bit late, you can go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator to do the daily creative challenges. Today, we were in Egypt working on patterns and graphic styles. Tomorrow, we'll be continuing on to Brazil. So I know a lot of watchers are in Brazil. Let me know if you have Brazil. Is there a way to have your patterns show up between files when you do something new? Yes, you can save your swatches actually. So let's hop back over. And with these patterns that you have here, check this out. So you can actually select these and then go up here to this little hamburger menu, and you can save swatch library. So if you save the swatch library, then you can open it in another file and it will carry over with you. You also can, I believe, do this. If I wanted to start another file, I could copy and paste it over there and then just make the new swatch when this is selected, and it would make that swatch for us for the patterns. So super easy. You can save out your graphic styles as well. Let's take a look at what's coming up next. Over here, we have our friends. See, my screen's over here, but then I turn the wrong way. So yes, we are going to be hanging out with our friend Sarah Gear and doing some mobile app design. We'll be doing this exact same thing, but for XD a little bit later today with a completely different person and a completely different challenge, so it's not the same thing. Our friend Peter Del Tondo is going to be handling that. And then at the end of the day, doodle therapy with Alice Lee and Deborah Lee. It's going to be a good time there, super chill. And yes, Valder from Brazil. Brazil in the house, represent. I'm super excited to go to Brazil tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking about colors. So if you were thinking about colors, pull some images that maybe have a beautiful color that you love. Pull things that inspire you, and that will help you for the lesson tomorrow. And let's do this, chat, since we have a couple minutes. Drop your flag in chat. Whatever flag of the country that you're from, drop it in chat. That'll be super fun to see them all rolling in. I think they're all there. And make sure that you tune in every day for our daily creative challenges. Again, we are live at 11:30 p.m. Pacific time. We also are going live again tonight at 6 p.m. Sydney time for our friends in Australia, if you want to join us for that. And then I'll be live again a little bit later tonight for some daily creative challenge reviews on my personal Behance channel. I'll maybe have some treats for us. Maybe we'll have some treats. We'll have some popcorn and just hang out and talk about your work and give you some feedback on it. So thanks so much. And yes, make sure that you stick around for Sarah Gear next. And make sure that you are registered and signed up for Adobe Max October 20th and 22nd. It's coming up so quickly, and it's going to be so much fun. And it's great to see all of the flags that are rolling in. Lots of friends in India, Brazil, Great Britain. So great to see you all. And thanks for joining us from around the world. Always a great treat to see you. So I'll be back again tomorrow. We won't be in Egypt. We will be in the rainforest of Brazil, which will be very fun. Maybe exploring some tree frogs. We'll see what happens. I will see you tomorrow on our next daily creative challenge. Until then, be nice to each other, text a friend, and make sure they're doing okay. All right, talk to you later. Bye.